Hey guys, what's going on? It's Russ Ruffino from Clients on Demand, and today we're going to talk about the biggest reasons why you are not hitting 6 or 7 figures in your business this year. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back. It's Russ Ruffino and Mark Von Muser, our Director of Sales from Clients on Demand. And so again, today we're going to be talking about the biggest reasons you're not hitting 6 or 7 figures in your business this year. Now, look, I know that if you're just getting your business off the ground, you might be saying, hey, Russ, I just want to get to 5K a month, man. If I could make $5,000 a month in my coaching business or my consulting business or my online business, that would change my life. That's all I need. Or maybe you're saying, Russ, I just want to get to 10K a month. So if you're thinking about getting to, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, over $1 million a year, those might seem like crazy, ridiculous numbers right now. But the one thing I want to emphasize to you is that they are not. It is absolutely possible to scale your business to that level. And I know because we've got a coaching company where we're doing 8 figures a year. So to go to 6 or 7, it's like we did that very rapidly in our business, and we're doing it in our clients' businesses all the time. So it's absolutely possible if, and this is a big if you can get the roadblocks out of the way. So Mark, it's great to have you here, my man.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This is an important topic because we're noticing a lot of people out there right now are a lot of people want to replace their income from a traditional brick and mortar. Number 2, a lot of people have been forced on online because of COVID and some of the challenges. And lastly, it's exciting too, because I'm noticing that people want more impact in their life. They want to, do just more than work a job. So there's this huge push. I'm excited that we can talk about some strategies and some ideas today about helping people, hit 6 and 7 figures in 2021.
Exactly. So guys, look, with the strategies that we teach, I just want to lay out for you what we're talking about here, okay? We're really talking about 3 things. We're talking about income, freedom, and impact. And we want you to have all 3 of those things. So income, meaning that you can grow your business and scale your business to whatever level you want. Whether you're like, I want to make 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, 8 figures a year, whatever that is, we want you to be able to hit those income goals, number 1. So your business should be providing you with the income that you want. But number 2, it should also be providing you with freedom. Because let's be honest, even if you're making a bunch of money, but you're working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, it's going to collapse. You should have the freedom to enjoy the money that you're generating. And part of the strategy that we teach, obviously, is running an online business. Just running your business online gives you the freedom to travel where you want to travel, you can stay at home with your kids if you want to stay at home with your kids. You can travel around the world if that's what you want to do. All you really need is a laptop, an internet connection, and you can run your whole business. So freedom is the second thing. But the most important thing is impact. And right now you might be thinking to yourself, again, Russ, I'm just trying to get my business off the ground. I'm just trying to make some money. Not really too concerned about making a huge impact on the world. And I get it. I totally get it. But let me tell you something. The bigger impact your business is making, and the more you are changing the lives of every client that you work with, the faster your business is going to grow. And that means the faster you're going to get the income, the faster you're going to get the freedom. And what's going to sustain you in the long term is that impact. Because let's be honest, whether you're making $1 million a year, $5 million a year, $10 million a year, $20 million a year, your lifestyle really isn't that much different once you hit a certain level. Once your immediate financial needs are met, you can go out there, you can buy some luxury stuff. You're living in the house you want to live in. You're driving the car you want to drive. You're living that lifestyle. I can tell you from honest experience that what's going to sustain you and what's going to motivate you is your mission. It's the impact you're making. It's the difference that you're making in the lives of each and every client. That's what's going to be what gets you out of bed in the morning. So income, freedom, and impact. Those are the 3 things that we want your business to give you. So think about what your life would be like, guys, if you could make all the money that you wanted to make, if you had the freedom to go pretty much anywhere and do pretty much anything, and you could be super proud of the impact that you're making in the world. I mean, how incredible would that be for your life? That's the kind of business that we are talking about. That's the kind of business that we want to help you build for yourself, for your family, and for the world.
I love that, Russ, because guys, that's one of the big shifts. It's not one of our big 3, but guys, pay attention to what Russ just said. Moving into 2021, clients are moving to people who are giving them and serving them and bringing them to an outcome, solving that problem. The days of the high pressure, the days of the, beat up and do a zillion calls, those are done. And it's the best part of our job. And when you're on mission and you're on purpose to serve your fellow man, it's the best thing that we do every day. We wake up to email after email after email where people saying, oh my God, thank you, it worked. Thank you, it worked. Thank you, it worked. And what Russ and I and Jane and what our team geeks out about, not just are our clients winning, but we're seeing the impact in their clients. Their clients are saving their marriages. Their clients are ending an eating disorder. So there's this huge surge of people that are making real difference. And again, it's great because they're getting paid and they're achieving their financial dreams while they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, today we're going to talk about 3 things that we see that are stopping people from hitting that 6 or 7 figure mark. And these are the 3 most common things that we see. Like there's a million things that could stop you from getting where you want to go. It could be, you just give up. It could be that you follow the wrong strategies, a million different things. But what we want to do today is focus on the big 3 that we see absolutely all the time. And the first one of those is using an outdated system. It's using an outdated system or any system that doesn't work. So let me give you a couple examples of systems that I think are outdated and that just absolutely don't work, right? One of those is having a low ticket value ladder. So this is one that we see that's very, very common. You decide to sell something online, whether that's your time or whether it's an ebook that you've written or a video course that you've created or something like that. And you look around at what everyone else is charging and you think to yourself, well, you know what, man, that guy's been in business for a really long time and he's in the same market that I'm in, or that gal's been in business for a really long time and she's in the same market that I am and she's charging, I don't know, $2,000 for her stuff. So man, she's got this big following, she's got this big audience. So if she's charging $2,000, I don't know, maybe I'll charge, I don't know, $400 for my top level thing. And then I'll charge maybe like $20 for my ebook. And I think that'll be good. That'll be safe. That'll work. So what's the problem with that? The problem with that, guys, is that the decision that you make of what you're going to charge and the prices that you're going to command affects everything else in your business. So you might think to yourself that it's easier to sell something for $27 than it is to sell something for $2,700, but it's not. You know what? It's actually harder. And let me tell you why. Once you get into advertising, which is really what you need to do to have a successful business, right? You can't depend on free traffic. You have to be able to advertise. You have to be able to advertise smart, okay? When you start advertising, it's going to cost you a certain amount of money in advertising to sell whatever that thing is. And if you're talking about selling something for $27, guys, look, Facebook can charge $2, $3 a click. So what that would mean for you, and just try to stick with me on this, is that every Facebook click, every person who clicks on, let's say, an ad you're running on Facebook, it's going to cost you $3. So one person clicks, that's $3. Next person clicks, that's $6. Next person clicks, that's $9, then $12, then $15, and so on. So you really only have the chance to send about 8 or 9 clicks to your sales page to sell your $27 thing. And guys, most of the time, you're not going to sell something to every 8 people who come to your site or every 9 people who come to your site. And so what that means is that selling something at like $27, basically what you're doing is you're making it impossible for your business to generate a profit. But if you were selling something at $2,700 or $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, like we teach our clients to do, now you've got a real chance at turning an incredible profit where you're earning back $5, $8, $10 for every $1 you spend on advertising. Does that make sense? So that whole conventional wisdom about have a low ticket price and then maybe, they buy the $27 thing. And then if they buy that, you're going to upsell them the $97 thing. And then you're going to upsell them the $100 thing. All that stuff is nonsense. You are making your business way more complicated than it needs to be. You're setting up all these different products that you got to provide support for. And you're basically making it impossible for you to turn a profit with paid advertising. So this is one of those strategies where it sounds good. You might be watching a YouTube video or something and the person's like, hey man, just get your first thing out there, sell it for $9, sell it for $10. A lot of people are going to buy it and then you're good to go. Don't believe it. Don't you believe it? You've got to be able to command a premium price. It's one of the biggest shortcuts out there, not just to having a business that is profitable. But all these other benefits come into play as well. People immediately assume that you're the best when you're charging that premium price. You're going to attract the most motivated, most passionate clients. They're going to show up. They're going to do the work that you want. They're going to do the work and get an incredible result. You increase your own prestige in the marketplace. So all these incredible things happen when you command that premium price. But if you don't do that, you're really setting yourself up for failure. So that's just one example of a strategy that really just needs to be thrown in the dustbin. At Clients on Demand, we teach our clients to command anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 prices on the front end. That means they're not buying some $20 thing and then working their way up. No, they're going out and they're buying that $5,000 or $10,000 thing right out of the gate.
Russ, I love that because it's absolutely true. And it reminds me of several of our clients. This is one of the more common things we hear when people call us. I reminded of Sophie. Sophie works in the weight loss space, helps women. Everything you just said was her story completely. You know, she was in a weight loss space. She goes, I'm not Jillian Michaels. I'm not this person. I'm not this person. She spent 13 minutes telling me about her clients are broke and they don't have money. And there's these big names that are charging this. So she was charging $39 for her ebook. And when she came in the program, she was barely making ends meet. She was barely paying her bills. I don't remember what she was doing. $2,000 to $4,000 a month was a good month. And last month, using this system, by changing her thinking from being an artist and a coach and a healer, only that, and then all those limiting beliefs that you just covered in a bad system with the low ticket. This month, she did over $60,000. In January, she did over $50,000 using a system. And the biggest thing she celebrated on Friday was her client's success. She said, when we first told her about it, she thought maybe this was a bunch of, not true. And she got in and she said her clients now show up. They're actually doing the work. How exciting is that? And that's when life gets good, because now Sophie's winning, her husband's winning, but more importantly, her clients are winning. They're doing the work and they're doing it. So apples to apples, the low ticket model was generating $2,000 to $4,000. Her new high ticket, again, is high return, high impact, and she's did about over $60,000. And that, guys, is right now. We can look in every niche, whether it's Brianna, who works with high risk teens. She tried the low ticket for 2 years, never got off the ground. She also did $66,000 last year in this space. So guys, what Russ just said is critical. You got to hear it. Those low ticket model, one of the things I don't like about low ticket is it's high risk, because you are risking your purpose and your ability to provide when you can't pay your bills. So when you're doing something so ineffective, what happens is it's kind of like trying to build a house with a spoon. You know what I mean? It's just too hard. You need the right tools to do it. And what breaks my heart, and I know it does yours too, Russ, is when people, they meet with failure. They try and they do really good work and they love on people and they do it, but they can't make money. Eventually they have to quit and they have to try and get a job and pay. And then who ultimately the dream dies, but more importantly, those clients go unserved. So guys, if you're using the wrong system, that is massively risking your dream.
Yeah, guys. I mean, the thing you have to understand, and the thing that Mark just pointed out, is that commanding those premium prices is not just a win for you. It's a win for your clients. Okay. When you are charging $20 for something, you're going to have a ton of people who buy it, maybe, but all of those people are going to be so desperate and so hungry for support that you can't provide. So when I was first starting out, guys, I used to do these launches, and that's another outdated strategy, by the way. I used to do these launches and we would sell like a $27 book or something, right? We'd sell 1,000, 2,000 copies of it, right? And then we'd be flooded with questions from those people where those people needed support. And they needed that support because they understood that a $27 ebook is not going to solve their problems. It's the difference between selling information and selling transformation. When you can command that premium price point, you can sell something that is truly transformational, that takes your clients and guides them every step of the way into the result that they want. And that is absolutely the best way to build a business. So if you guys are dabbling with any kind of a low ticket offer, a low ticket product, low ticket anything, and it isn't working for you, it's time to come into the high ticket space, because this is where the people doing $1 million, $1.5 million a month and really making an incredible impact in the world, that's the level that we're playing at. And the other thing I want you guys to understand is that Mark's talking about, these clients that we work with. They're in every market and every space you could possibly imagine. We've got clients who are dating coaches, relationship coaches, health coaches, all different kinds of consultants. I mean, in all these different markets. So it's not just the people that are doing business coaching that are commanding those kinds of prices. It's people in all kinds of personal development, spiritual development. It doesn't matter. And the last thing I really want to emphasize that Mark said is that it seems like you're not taking a big risk charging that low price, but it is a massive, massive risk. In fact, it's just as big of a risk as walking off a cliff and hoping you're going to fly, because it just doesn't work. And we know it doesn't work because we've seen so many people try to do it that way and just fail and fail and fail. The high ticket strategy is the way to go. And it seems like a bigger risk doing a high ticket offer, but it's not. It's a lower risk because all you need to do is make 1 or 2 sales. If you make 1 or 2 sales at $5,000, you just put $10,000 in your pocket. That's enough money to invest a lot of money back into advertising. It's enough money to grow your business, to scale your business. If you only make a couple sales at $20, now you only made $40 and you got problems. You understand? So commanding those high ticket prices is absolutely the safer strategy, in my opinion, than going low ticket, even though it might not seem that way. So that's just one example of an outdated strategy. I'll give you another one. Another one would be to have a long sales cycle. So I heard someone the other day, Mark, saying that if you're doing sales, right, and you're enrolling people over the phone into your programs and your workshops, and you're having conversations with clients, discovery calls, whatever you want to call it, that you should be following up with those people 16 times. That you should be calling them back and calling them back and calling them back up to 16 times until they enroll. And I'm sitting there going, who's got the time for that? Okay. If we did that in our business, we'd be out of business. We have a few people who do our phone enrollments for us, our enrollment coaches. And if we didn't have a efficient, simple, clean process, we would be out of business. So if you're having to follow up with people 8 times, 9 times, 10 times, even 5 times to get somebody to make a purchase from you, you're doing something wrong. 95%, probably 99% of our enrollments happen on that very first conversation. So it's one conversation that generates a high ticket sale. Just one. So if you guys are operating under some kind of a long sales cycle, that's another strategy that just needs to be tossed out. What do you say, Mark?
The reason I could not agree more, it always cracks me up when people go, oh, you got to follow up 16 times. Now, by the way, I used to be the guy that followed up 16 times and would do it. And what people don't realize is the reason that you have to do that with those old models is they're outdated models. The outdated sales model, the Kirby vacuum model, the Fuller Brush Company model, the insurance model, all of those follow-up type programs, the used car approach that's very relevant today, if you track it back to its origin, they ignore the human condition. It's features and benefits type selling. But the problem is humanity has evolved. And so what happens though, they're still trying to sell features and benefits or personal power selling. And those models don't work anymore. Every day, and again, if you don't believe me, ask yourself, what do you do when somebody cold calls you? What do you do when somebody telemarkets you? You immediately come up with a story and you don't want to do it. How do you feel when you walk into a car lot? How do you feel when you walk in a timeshare room? You know you have buyer defenses. So the systems that most people are teaching are triggering those buyer defenses, which doesn't feel good. Now, for you coaches, consultants, and healers, this is an area that you will not feel comfortable using an outdated model because it's going to require you to have thick skin, almost, talk right at the people, and there's not a authentic human connection. And one of the things that we've noticed, Russ, is by updating and having an honest conversation that honors both parties, you can actually get to the truth. But our system and what we teach and what we recommend is a client-focused conversation, a problem-focused conversation, and a commitment-focused conversation. And it changes the game. So you don't need to do 16 follow-ups. You don't need to try and pressure people. You don't need to try and close people, because this is a joint conversation, a transformational conversation between two grown-ups who, 1, let's get clear on the problem. 2, can I help, and let's discuss it. But most people are not teaching that, which is a huge, huge problem for coaches, consultants, and healers.
Because you don't have time to talk to people that many times. If you got it, listen, if your lead flow is dialed in the way it should be, and you're getting people reaching out to talk to you every single day, and you have clients that you have to serve, you don't have time to have conversation after conversation after conversation with the same person. You got to make a decision and they have to make a decision on that very first call. And when you have a call process that works for you, it's actually a lot of fun to have those conversations. It's like, well, it'll be one of the best part of your business. Even though it might seem like one of the scariest parts, it's not. You get past it and you learn and make that a really productive, wonderful conversation for you and for the person that you're talking to. So you don't need to use any of those old school, like high pressure tactics like Mark is talking about. That stuff is dead. It turns people off. And like Mark said, the buyer's evolved. I mean, people are much more skeptical now than they were back then when those techniques were first originated. So the good news is that if you've got the right process, you can have a one call enrollment. It could be one conversation, one enrollment, end of story. No need to do all these follow-ups and all this other stuff. So guys, just to bring it back to what we're originally talking about here, that choice of strategy is the most important decision you're going to make in your business. So you don't want to just sit there and pull something out of a hat, right? Where, you're on YouTube and you're like, oh, well, this guy said to make an ebook. So that sounds cool. I'm going to go make an ebook. Or this other person said to do this. So I'm going to go do this. So this person said I need to be posting to Instagram 15 times a day. So I'm going to start doing that. Guys, you got to be intelligent about this. You have to look and say, okay, let me find somebody who's getting the kind of results that I want and let me find out exactly what that guy is doing and let me do everything that he tells me to do. That's really the only way to do it, guys. So if you're sitting there and you're using an outdated strategy, it's going to be very, very tough for you to scale your business to 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures or even scale it at all in this year.
I would even say it's tough to survive with an outdated
Oh,
model.
yeah. Well, you see it, Mark. You see people, grinding out content. You still see people doing all this content marketing. That's another strategy we're not crazy about where, they are posting to Instagram 10 times a day, 12 times a day. Their whole life they're online. They're on social media constantly. Guys, you know what? I don't want to change. I don't want not to derail the conversation, but like earlier this month, I decided to give up social media completely. We still advertise there. We still communicate with our clients there. And obviously we're still making videos like this one, but the bulk of our business, guys, comes from our sales funnels. It comes from our advertising and our funnel. And what's cool about that is you only need to set it up once. You set up that funnel once and you drive traffic into it and that's it. We've had funnels that we've been running for like a year and a half that we haven't even touched. We should probably update them, honestly, but they're still working is my point. So we've got this business where we're doing, millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars every year, but we don't have to, do all of this extra work. You understand? So I'm telling you this and I'm really hammering this home because, again, we're chasing income, freedom, and impact. And if you're using an outdated strategy, you're not going to get the income. You're going to lose your freedom because you'll be glued to your computer all day long, which is not what we want. And you're not going to make an impact because no one's going to see your stuff because the strategy you're following is ineffective. That's not what we want for you. I know it's not what you want for yourself.
Yeah. Let's go to number 2, Russ, because this one is another important one as well.
Yeah. So the second thing we see, guys, besides using an outdated strategy is just doing more of the same. So let's say you've got this strategy that you're committed to and you're grinding and you're grinding and you're grinding and you're grinding. It's not working. To just keep going after it is not the way to go. So the second mistake we see is to just keep doing more of the same. This is something that's called the sunk cost fallacy. There's actually a name for this, where you might be putting money into something that isn't working, but then you think to yourself, oh man, I've already spent 20 grand on this. I've already spent 30 grand on this. I've already spent 40 grand on this. I can't give up now. I can't give up now. When really all you're doing is just digging yourself a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. So I want you guys right now to take stock of where you are at. How many clients did you enroll last month? How much revenue did you bring in your business last month? How many leads are you getting every week? Take a look at those numbers. And I'm not talking about all complicated numbers. I'm talking about very simple numbers. Did you get any clients last month or didn't you? Did you make any money in your business last month or didn't you? Is your revenue going up? Is it going down or is it staying the same? Look at that stuff, guys. And the biggest question to ask yourself is, are you fulfilling your goals? Those income goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year, are you on track to hit them or not? And if you're not, just doing more of what you've been doing is only going to make things worse. You must make a shift. You must make a change. So if you're just keep chewing on that bone and chewing on that strategy and chewing it, hoping it's going to work. Look, I admire your tenacity. I admire your perseverance. Those things are going to serve you really well. But how much better would they be serving you if you were using a strategy that actually worked?
Yeah, I love Einstein's quote, Russ. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
The other one too, guys, is someday is not on the calendar. And so when you combine doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, it's kind of like I said, earlier, building a house with a spoon instead of a hammer and the right tools. When people are doing this and people are moving forward, you can look at the fruit on the tree. And already we're having people, oh, well, of course, January is really slow and February is really slow. It's like, not in our world, it's not. Mm-mm. Our groups are crushing it. Karen, for example, she's in the real estate space. That was one of the biggest myths that we helped her get over. She did over, what was it, $600,000 last month?
Last month, guys.
Yeah.
Last month, not last year, last month.
And people after client are having gigantic months. And again, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to continue to get the same results. And what's a shame is, like Russ said, we honor your tenacity and your grit, but the fruit on the tree, it's either there or it's not. And when you take that tenacity and grit and match it up with the right system, now you start to see some of those expansive growth numbers. And by the way, most people in our program have tried tons of other programs, including the low ticket, and we were their last rung on the ladder. We were their last hope, and boom, now all of a sudden it works. And because, again, superior system, superior expert support, and having an expert guide mentor. But you got to look, one of the first things that you have to do if you're going to fix a problem is to figure out where on the map you are. And where you figure that out is your income, how many clients you're getting, and how effective you are at enrolling them with the right people. Because at the end of the day, that's going to tell you where your holes are in your marketing. That's going to tell you where your holes are in your psychology and where your holes are in your business. And you can simplify it down into that very, very quickly. And now you can fix those pieces.
And if it's not working, you have to change it.
Yep.
Period. You have to make a change. You can't continue to double down and double down and double down on a strategy that's not working. So this would be probably 95% of the people that reach out to talk to us. It's not that they're not doing the work, Mark. And this is the thing. I mean, the people that reach out to work with us, like, they're not lazy. They're doing the work, but they're just doing the wrong work.
Yep.
They're following some like roundabout, complicated strategy. This is not going to get them where they want to go, or it's going to take forever. It's funny. A company reached out to talk to us a couple years ago, and they were like a coaching certification company or something like that, who certify people to become coaches. And I was like, okay, well, tell me about some of your success stories. And they were like, oh man, we've got clients making $5,000-$10,000 a month doing this. And I was like, your best clients are making $5,000-$10,000 a month? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh man. And then when I dug a little deeper and I looked into the marketing strategy they were teaching, it was just like, I was shocked they even had people making that much. So guys, look, there's the choice of the strategy that you choose to follow is critical, number one. And number two, if you're not following a strategy that's working, you got to be honest with yourself and you got to make a change. But the good news is that there is stuff out there that's working, and we can tell you what that is if you really want to know. So that brings us to the third thing that's stopping you from hitting 6 to 7 figures this year. And that's be around people that are doing it. Okay. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Be around people that are doing what you want, that are making the outcomes that you want. So look around and ask yourself, okay, first of all, where do you want to be? Honestly, where do you want to be? And maybe if I'd asked you at the beginning of this show, you'd say, well, Russ, I want to get to $5,000 a month. But maybe, hopefully, your mind has been opened a little bit. And if I asked you right now, you'd say, well, hell, man, I want to get to $100,000 a month. Okay, cool. Then find someone who's getting that kind of outcome for themselves, who's helping other people get that kind of outcome, who's doing it right now, and who's been doing it for a while. Look for someone that's got those 4 characteristics. They're getting the outcome you want. They're helping other people get the outcome that you want. They're doing it right now. So not like 2 years ago they were doing it and now they're not. They were doing it then and they're still doing it, and they've been doing it for a long time. Find someone who fits that criteria and then get that mentor, get that person to mentor you or work with you or help you so that you can get those kinds of outcomes for yourself in minimum time possible. And look, guys, I'm not saying that it doesn't take work. It takes a ton of work, right? All these clients that Mark is talking about, they spent money on advertising. They persisted through multiple challenges. They worked really, really hard. But you know what? They had a system that worked. And they had an incredible support structure from Mark, from myself, from our entire team. And we helped them get through every challenge, every hurdle, every obstacle, whether it was an internal obstacle, there was just like a mindset problem, or there was an external obstacle, like getting their Facebook campaigns dialed in and figuring out their targeting over there. Whatever obstacle they ran into, we were there to coach them and support them through it. And that's the reason that they have those results. So look, I always like to say that nobody can make it easy. Nobody can make it easy. There's no easy button, but we can make it much, much simpler. Where you're not going to have any wasted effort. You're not going to have any wasted time, and you can be on the fast track to getting where you want to go.
And this is where it gets fun, because to your point, Russ, I can think of so many people and they love what they do, but they work, and they aren't seeing any fruit on the tree, and they're not getting any, and they're jeopardizing losing their business because they're not making enough money to even pay their own bills. Right. So that's not good, because again, we want to create an army of light workers and people out there doing it the right way, serving other people, helping them out of pain. And it juices us when we watch people do it, because all of a sudden you see that work ethic and that desire in their heart, and they come in and they start doing the work, and then all of a sudden it works. And Russ pointed out the 2 areas that you need to not do it alone. Number 1, you need an expert mentor, because an expert mentor, and again, I don't use this term lightly, somebody does it once and they think they're an expert. That's not what we talk about. We're talking about somebody that has helped hundreds of different niches, thousands of different people, and they can help all sorts because they've gone through it 100 to 1,000, 5,000 times. They have the fruit on the tree, and they have that deep desire to care to help you do it. And that's something that a lot of mentors don't really incorporate. They have one strategy. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you're on your own. And so we've noticed is how great is it that we can help somebody with an IBS program. We can help somebody with a diet program. We can help somebody with a business program, a relationship program, a spiritual program, a healing program. What else? A wedding venue program, a bodybuilding program, a running fast program, a handstand program. We've done so many different niches, and it's exciting because that's the first part. But the second thing, which is also very, very important, and you said it, Russ, I want to emphasize it, and that's surrounding yourself that are committed and are getting the result. When you surround yourself in a group of people going somewhere to Successville, what happens then is all of a sudden you get in and you look at it and you watch them do the work. You see other people winning right now, and you can jump in the game and start knowing your efforts now are going to have a big result. But people tell us all the time when they're in that group, the things I hear, it's the first time, for example, where I felt accepted and seen. They say it's great to be in a group where they're supported and other people are encouraging them. They love being in a group where everything's positive. They love being in a group where people are showing real results, not theory. So guys, don't do it alone. During 2021, if you want to go big and you want 6 or 7 figures, you're going to need an expert mentor, a proven system, and you need to get around people that are going to that same location.
So guys, look, if you're hearing what we're saying and you're like, yes, I want to have that kind of strategy working for me. I want that world-class support. I want that world-class stuff. Then we have something very special for you. But before I tell you what it is, let's just recap really quickly. So the 3 things that are stopping you from hitting that 6 or 7 or 8 figures in 2021 or whatever year you're watching this. Number 1, using outdated systems. Number 2, doing more of the same. And number 3, doing it alone. If you're stuck in doing those 3 things and you want to stop, you want to make that shift towards something that really works, then here's what we have for you. The team has set aside some time to speak to you personally in the next 48 hours about how you can apply these ideas to your business starting today. So here's what that looks like. I'm going to give you a link in just a second. You guys can go to that link and you can book a call to speak to our team. It's about a 45-minute conversation. It is absolutely free. And on that call, we'll put our heads together. We'll look at everything that you're doing. You can tell us everything you've been trying that's not working. You can tell us your dream. What's your dream income? What kind of impact do you want to be making? Who do you want to work with? Who do you dream of working with? And on that call, we'll listen to all that stuff. We'll put our heads together and we'll come up with a step-by-step game plan for you to get what you want to go, where you want to go. And we'll help you identify exactly what those next steps should be. So just that one conversation, guys, can shave literally years off of your learning curve. If you're following a strategy that's wrong or a strategy that's outdated or just a strategy that's not getting you where you want to go, then you need to book this call with us because we can show you the simplest, smoothest, quickest way forward, the quickest way to get where you want to go. And then if we're a good fit to work together, we can talk about what that looks like. If not, that's cool too. But either way, that call is going to be the best 45 minutes you have ever spent working on your business. So if you want to book that call, then I want you to go to clientsondemand.com/talk. That's clientsondemand.com/talk and book that appointment to speak to us. Again, you're going to click that link. It's going to take you to a page with our calendar on it. You can pick any appointment time that works for you, pick out that appointment, and we will call you at the time that you chose. And like I said, it'll be the best 45 minutes you've ever spent working on your business. Guys, the reason that we do this is because it just drives us nuts when we have good coaches, good marketers, talented marketers that are just following a bad strategy. And it drives us crazy because, to me, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. And if you've got all the talent in the world and you're brilliant at what you do, but you just can't attract the clients that you want, then that means your talent, your skill, your God-given skills are going to waste. And that's not what I want for you guys. What I want for you guys is those three things we talked about before: that income, the freedom, and that impact. So if we can help you do that, then I want you to go to clientsondemand.com/talk and book an appointment to speak to us.
Yeah, guys, on that call, we hear it all the time. And one of the most common things that we get is, you know what, this sounds great, Russ. This sounds great. I just don't know if this is going to work with my model. And guess what? Our guys are experts at knowing who this is going to work for. We know we're going to be able to walk you through whether or not it's going to work. Secondly, is they're kind of like, well, I don't know if people are investing and paying for this kind of solution. And we're going to know that too, because we probably help somebody in your niche. That person you're looking up to right now, we get this all the time, Russ. It's pretty funny. When we get people in certain industries and then they quote the ones they want to be like, those are our clients. Oh, I want to be like him. I want to be like Doran Aldana. I want to be like, Claire Adelena. I want to be like Karen Coffey, and it's so funny because those are our clients.
Then just do what they did.
Somebody else say, oh, I want to be like Dr. Sonia Stribling. And it was so funny because, those are our clients. And so guys, when you're doing that, our team knows who this is going to work for, and they're really amazing. They'll help you get to the truth. What's going on, what's working, what's not. And really, we're going to find out, where do you want to go? And if we can help, we'll tell you. If not, if something's better, we'll steer you to that. We've got no heartburn with that. And at the end of the day, though, you're going to get clarity, and you're going to, most importantly, know exactly what you need to do in 2021 to achieve your dream.
Absolutely. So guys, look, go to clientsondemand.com/talk, book that appointment to speak to us. That's going to do it for Mark and I today. And we will see you on the next show. Bye, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you guys want to subscribe, there's a little picture of me. You can click that button right over there. If you want to book a breakthrough session with our team, which you absolutely should do, then you can click that button there or go to clientsondemand.com/talk to book an appointment to speak to us. We'll go ahead and catch you on the next show. Bye-bye.